When we come back, we got some more questions for Tony. We're going to jump into that since we've been kind of side-railed on the Packers. So we'll be right back, folks. We got some more questions for Tony to answer about his Panthers, which is really why we brought him on the show.
Yeah. We got talking.
And if you haven't had enough of our banter tonight, you want to visit NFL Addictions on Facebook.com for all of your NFL banter and chatter. It's not a trash talk site, so keep it clean and keep it cordial. That's NFL Addictions on Facebook.com. And if you still got an itch to scratch when you're done with that, you want to visit Raz Addictions on Facebook.com for their version of the raffle for all kinds of cool prizes, even a chance at winning some cash. You buy a $10 raffle ticket for a chance at winning $100. That's a chance at making 10 times your money. It don't get any better than that. That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com for a chance at all kinds of cool prizes. Tell them what you've won, Dave.
I've won everything from tailgating barbecue sets. That I have a Packers one that I won, folks, for $400. I put $40 down on the spot. I won it, and it was out of 20 spots. It's really worth it. I've also won helmets that are signed. I've won banners that are signed. I've won memorabilia rings. I've won footballs that are signed and other Packers knickknacks because that's my team. But go ahead and check them out. Cheap, affordable prices for certified, authentic stuff.
That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com. Go there, play, and win. And as always, you can follow us on Twitter at First and Goal Pod, myself at UPJ33, Dave is at Steak and Cheese, and the fantasy wonder himself, Dylan, at Dylan Busby1. Email us at firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com with all your football and Packer questions and comments, and you just might find yourself making the show live. That's firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com. All right, we are back. And look at that. The man has got some timing. He went to pour beer and he sat down right as we get off the commercial break. That's what you call good timing. Way to go, Tony.
Dude, I just got this kegerator a couple of weeks ago.
Hey, co-kegerator owner. Got mine too.
Yeah, so we actually just tapped the new Sixtel tonight.
Heck yeah, man. No, that's the
all
way to
right,
do it.
Dave.
I love kegerators.
Go ahead. I know you got some more questions.
Oh, yeah, I've got a whole laundry list of questions. So, it was said on your show, Tony, on Tuesday night that there was some call-ins, there was some talk on it, that this roster has some void in talent. But looking at it on paper, there's a lot of young, high draft capital surrounding Josh Allen. Explain why Cam was 0-8 in his last 8 starts, and Kyle Allen is 5-1, man. I understand there was injuries, but it's got to be a little more than that.
Well, because our team got a lot better from last year to this year in a hurry, and and kudos to Marty Herney, our second-time GM, for doing a lot of this. We switched from a 4-3 to a 3-4 defense, and then went and committed in the offseason to bringing in guys from both through free agency, Bruce Irvin, as well as going after Brian Burns in the first round.
I wanted him to in the draft.
Yeah, and then Cody, that for the draft guys, the Cody Lashley anyway thinks Brian Burns is like the toast of the town, and he has been sensational.
Does he think he's the next?
So, I don't. That's a tall bill. That's like the top. He's a top 3 defensive end in the history of football. That's my favorite football player of all time. He grew up he went and played high school played high school 30 minutes from where I live at Bailey, North Carolina. He is the best, and that's the greatest Panther. But so we were actually able to get a lot better from last year to this year, and our roster we just had a lot of turnover. So we're so much different than we were last year, and I won't say that we have a great roster. I mean, we have a lot of talent on our roster, but it's young. You make the transition from a 4 to a 3-4. You don't really know what you're going to get. You're gambling a lot, and it's worked out so far in some ways. And we've got these 2, but we also have 2 young wide receivers. We've gone small and fast. DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. And so everything has worked pretty well to this point, given the fact that we don't have our best player in Cam Newton, and it looks like, well, certainly we're not going to have him for the rest of the year now.
So, I mean, but that's the thing, though. I understand it got healthy in a hurry quick, but I mean, it got better in a hurry quick, but it seems like almost, I don't know, like it. There's something I got to find out.
35 sacks last year. I think we had 35 sacks last year. Let's see. I'll look it up, but
I think you guys are giving up the 5th most pressure rate in QB hits this year too, I believe, from when I was looking up.
Oh, yeah, our offensive line has been a train wreck for the last 10 years, but we're finally getting natural pressure on the quarterback now. So and people are getting home. We just could not get to the quarterback last year, and Peppers was on that team last year. We just weren't able to do it, and we had some weaknesses both on the defense, and then Cam Newton goes down last year. It's just very simple. Cam Newton goes down, or he didn't even go down. They played him with a broken shoulder last year for so long. And
do you guys blame your GM or coach for that too, by the way? I'm not trying to point fingers, but I mean, they're playing him hurt. Is that something why people want Ron gone?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. Is that, I mean, obviously Ron is going to want his best guys to be on the field if they can go, so he's not going to be encouraging guys to sit down. And Cam Newton's the type of guy. Look, Cam Newton hit his injury. He has his foot.
And if you haven't had enough of our banter tonight, you want to visit NFL Addictions on Facebook.com for all of your NFL banter and debate. It's not a trash talk site, so keep it clean and keep it cordial. That's NFL Addictions on Facebook.com. And if you still have an itch to scratch when you're done with that, you want to visit Raz Addictions on Facebook.com to play their version of the raffle for all kinds of chances at cool prizes. You can even win some cash. Buy a $10 raffle ticket with a chance at $100. That's a chance to win 10 times your money. It don't get any better than that. That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com.
There's one thing I got to share outside looking in. So the past couple years before 18, we always saw Cam was kind of clean cut. He was happy go lucky, and into the back end of last season plus this season, he has that kind of, to me, from what I've seen, kind of that grunge look, I guess, letting his hair grow out, and whenever he's sitting on the sidelines, he looks like he's sitting by himself. Before, he was always cutting it up with his teammates. I mean, to me, it looks like he's not having fun anymore, and I don't know what would make him do that, but that's what it looks like to me, is he's not the same Cam we have come to love over the past couple of years before 18.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and this is what he's gone through, is he's had 2 years of consecutive shoulder surgeries, and Cam's a guy that devotes his his body to the game more than anybody. Right? Is that he's always in shape. He's always all the things that people believe about Cam are generally false. He's just kind of weird when it comes to some of his style. Other than that, he eats well. He's a gym rat. He's always a good teammate, it seems like. But here's the thing, and you pointed it out, is Cam Newton has always worn his emotions on his sleeve. Yeah. And for myself, I do that myself. And that's the thing, is Cam Newton is, when he's high. And when he's low, he can get low. And I think you're seeing exactly what happens when a player who is really should be great is struggling with 3 years of consecutive injuries. And it just seems like every time things are about to start working out, he goes out there and hurts his foot. So it's hard for him. And I tell you this, the media, people dump on him, and there's this weird, they call it F-150 Panther fans. There is this contingent of Panther fans who never liked Cam Newton, ever. And they are so vocal right now. I was surprised if it's struggling with this mentally in some ways. You know what I'm saying? You can see it. And, you know, bless him. God bless him. How do you beat through such adversity at times, especially when you have a personality that tends to get high and low.
Yeah.
You know, he's a momentum. He's always been a momentum guy. We've always said this is the best thing to do is Cam is always so tight and excited to start the game. You can see it. He closes his eyes. He's like trying to calm himself down. The best thing in all of Cam's career has been to run him on the first play and get some dirt on his jersey. And then all of a sudden he cools down. Is that he's just an emotional guy. And that's just, you know, and I know that a lot of people don't like it, but that's just who he is.
Well, yeah, I will jump in on that real quick, Dave. And here's where I have the issue with Cam, all right? When I talk and critique Cam, Tony, it's because I am my expectation level for quarterbacks to be, you know, like talking about like the way that they talk about is very high. I nitpick the hell out of Aaron Rodgers, guys like Tom Brady, even the best. I expect a lot. I nitpick Cam on a football quarterback level, right? What I don't care about what he wears in the post-game press conference. I care about if his emotions get the better of him where he's not being a good example and a leader in post-game press conferences and stuff, because that's just part of being a mature adult in the business world.
Yeah, that's all blown out of proportion.
But at the same time, I'm not going to murder somebody for it either. I'm going to mention it that he needs to get better about it, but I'm not going to sit here and overly murder somebody about who they are at the core, because we all have our flaws. We can't necessarily always change our core flaws, good or bad, but we all have them, right? And like, so we can mention it. It's fair to mention it. It's fair to say it and expect that you would hope that he could get over it. But what I get sick of, because I have a quarterback that what difference does it make whether Aaron Rodgers is having a daily, monthly, or once-a-year conversation with his parents, or what he wears, or who he's dating,
but look,
or like, they do that to Cam. They do that to Cam
after every play. Aaron Rodgers gets pissed after every play. Like, you can see he's mad at every play that doesn't work. And I don't have a problem with it.
No, what's wrong with that?
I'm just not.
He wants perfection.
I don't think
that's just him.
I don't think Cam's personality is the problem. I think there's other things we could talk about with Cam. But right now, I think there's
leadership. There's leadership things I would like to see from him that could or could be fixed, and maybe they will or maybe they won't. But when I criticize what I don't like about Cam, it's mechanics, bud. It's all about mechanics and what I expect when it's called tight window throws, completion, pocket presence, throw, delivery, consistency, all that stuff. The rest of it is like, I may mention it, but all good quarterbacks have quirks and things that aren't the greatest. John Elway was the most arrogant prick to ever live, and, he went to 6 Super Bowls and was 2-4 in them. Like, he's still a really all-time great. Dave mentions about how Marino was so arrogant, he damn near, it was hard to get anybody that wanted to stay around him as far as teammates, okay? And yet, he's an all-time great. If you look at his passing stats in an era where it was hard to pass, you can see his talent. Like, everybody's got goofy quirks. I want to talk about, when we're talking about Cam, I really could give a shit less about that. I nitpick him the same as any other quarterback, period. That's all it is. All that other stuff, I think, is just a bunch of stuff that people like to get hot take-ish to really try to break down. They do it to Rodgers. They do it to any quarterback they don't really like. And I'm not really one of those guys. I'm not on the bandwagon that Cam is this all-time great quarterback. Cam, to me, is a really great athlete that never developed into what we would expect from a great quarterback. He's got great moments. He's had 2 good seasons. But his numbers, and when you watch him and what expectations from a quarterback to deliver the ball from the pocket, he does not meet up to him. I don't blame it all on him, because any quarterback that's as athletically gifted as Cam Newton at some point when they get to be towards the end of their college, and especially when they're young quarterbacks in the league, it is the coach